Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India. On this day, June 2nd, 2021, Wednesday. Great to see you again and continuation of talk regarding same title as it was before. That is Civil Field Engineering COVID-19 Impact, Designs, Construction Methods, Contracts, Organizations, Communications, Coordination, Quality Annexes. Why we view behind quality, that's the important point we have to understand. Certification again, I am trying to show you these certificates of professional engineer, chartered engineer and fellow membership, etc., which tells something. But what is about quality, that is the important point. I should say quality is an option or requirement. This is a big question. For me, quality is a requirement, and this requirement applies for every action at every place. One cannot say that this is preference. No, this is not preference, but preference is to move over quality, to bypass quality to better quality. That is preference. Quality has no limit, this is also true. But we have to define reasonable quality. That is also a mandate by human being. Every human likes quality and better quality according to what is produced and what is required. What is required we have to mention. A person who is buying something or who has to buy something, that person buys that article only when that person is satisfied that it is suitable for me, it is worth price I am paying or I pay, that is required. So we cannot say that quality is a preference. Quality is same value as product. But product gets value only because of quality. If quality is not delivered through product, that product has got no meaning. Quality of performance, quality of composition, quality of its lifetime, all are quality. We can specify anything, we can describe anything. This product contains this and contains that. This product is worth serving, this product is that, this will have this much, that one. When we buy something, we read all these. Sometimes we read, sometimes we miss, and we believe we must have. But experience when we get, when we buy product, we use it, we gain experience for a couple of months or couple of weeks, and then we can see or we can understand or we can discover what quality this product has. And it is really very significant point. We then never go to see its basic, you can say, advertisement specifications, product manufacturer labeled on this article. We just by performance understand, realize that yes, this has some quality or this has no quality. At that time we don't compare what was written, what was published on that label. We just say, oh, performance is rubbish and there is no quality. We simply say, or performance is good, and even it's not mentioned on label, you see, yes, it is acceptable to terms of cost wise, you can say, in terms of cost, and in terms of what should it be, does it satisfy our need, satisfy our requirements. So here I can say requirement comes into play, requirement of quality. What is requirement? I can't claim that I should get everything for payment which is much lesser than which that performance buy. I can buy performance because of price. To what price I pay, I should get it back through performance of product. But does it happen? That is a question mark everywhere. I don't know reason why quality is not produced. It is claimed, but it is not produced. And it's not only in our country. If you see products worldwide, you will find same thing in variation. And that doesn't matter which country that product comes from, because system of quality is same. Somewhere there is negligence in the operation of system, and somewhere there is some control, and somewhere is good control, you can say. So you can say there is no uniformity even in application of quality system. Quality requirement is a must everywhere. We cannot deny this fact. But in theory only, or in papers only, you can say it's a must. Product should be must. Product should perform which requirement is a must, that we have to understand, and we have to raise this question to ourselves, how best it is. That is point of importance. System works because human and staff work there. How best they work? Do they stick to their commitment, or they do not stick? Do they stick to whatever has been mentioned in form of a script in their system document? That is, how many people study that, how many people read that, and how many people understand that system, and how many are well trained, and how much those trainee and how much those trainers, they understand each other. Product requirement is defined clearly or not defined clearly. What is attitude of people, and what is attitude of material handling people? What is attitude of those people who work on this, and what dedication level they have got, what commitment responses they have got. So there are so many more parameters which can be deliberated on this issue, but I am leaving it because every day we talk of that. So quality actually remains in hands of those who are involved with that in production, who are involved in research, who are involved in designs. Quality relates to them, to what extent quality can be achieved or they achieve. It's not in hands of system, it's neither in hands of something else. It is in hands of our attitude, our commitment. That's what I say. It requires, when we say time is important, it should take time. We say cost is important, we have to think of cost. And of course, quality is prime element there. And if quality is affected, then say either you have loss or you have gains by, you can say, not attempting. Loss can be if you have to work again on that product which is not properly produced, that is a loss. Or if you negligently deliver it and later on you have to face consequences, that is another loss. We have to keep these points in mind. if I don't get what I pay for, I feel upset. And you will feel also. Because I pay something and not getting in return of that. What sort of transaction is that? That transaction is called substandard transaction. If I pay X amount, I must get back. That is direct relation between quality or between product and payment. Why should I miss that? Why should I give undue profit to manufacturers? And why should manufacturer expect that? And it applies to manufacturing, it applies to construction, and it applies to whatever item you buy in market, whatever item. This is very common discussion, very common discussion. We have to understand that. Means importance lies on production or work. Importance lies on that. Importance lies on those people who prescribe or who specify contents of that product, and it's incumbent on them who try to do work on that, who produce that. They try to work within process. Do they understand what is required? That's one point. Are they interested in looking to do better job, or they are just interested in duty? Means there are so many points which can be considered. For something, it is repetition. For a person, it is monotonous. Every day doing same thing throughout 8 or 10 hours. That person then becomes, if that person misses something and does not point out itself that I missed it, or somebody doesn't tell him you have missed it, means there is no supervision on that. And if there is supervision and supervision is neglected, so you can say we miss something in that product. It may be quality, it may be shape, it may be size, it may be performance, whatever. And warranty or guarantee has become a fashion. Well, I say if product is really quality product, it should have warranty until it works. But manufacturers has a plan, or you can say has a saving formula, that its warranty is for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and I am responsible for that. And it's not that person is responsible, because that person charges expenses that one has to spend on warranty maintenance, warranty controls. So it's also cost that is paid by consumer. This means manufacturer doesn't give anything additional. Warranty is also charged, then AMC is charged. So you can say quality is bad, but we have to pay. Why quality is bad? Quality is bad because of organization, because of mishandling or malhandling of organization, about performance, about manufacturing process, or about designs, or about it is only negligence, you can say. It is only ignorance. It is only routine job. No excitement in job. Same thing we have to do every time, every day, every moment. So a craze or a hunger or a thirst to learn something more and more, or to do some better, all are gone. Why I am behind quality, I question myself also many times. When people are not interested, why I am always interested? I always have interest of quality, and not from now, or it's been since I entered into career of engineering, and before that also I was very much argumentative. Of course, I was not that level qualified that time, but I used to search for better and better. And moreover, I used to believe in painting and drawing, and I used to be attracted towards good pictures and my own self. I used to draw. It creates a beautification mind, it creates an artistic mind, it creates accurate mind. accuracy is increased, you can say quality of performance is increased, and you can say think is increased, conception is increased. All these levels are automatically enhanced when you think on and on. And believe me, I don't know why thinking sometimes is very fast in my mind. I don't know this, and when I don't know this, I should know it, and that is different subject which I do. But in engineering, I think this is very important. In engineering, you know, all all activities, all brain levels that are used in life give something to a product. Okay, I accept mistakes do happen. If I make mistake once, then I should learn from that mistake. And if I learn from that mistake, I can of course do better than what I did before committing mistake. That is very important and significant point for everyone. And if I don't learn anything from that mistake, I do again same mistake is caused again and again, then I can call myself idiot, stupid, nonsense, ignorant, careless, whatever word you give me, and that is deficient one. It should be more harsh. That is where quality should be controlled. I have to punish myself if I make a mistake. Why I caused this mistake? In spite of fact, I knew that that was wrong, and that is what I say. Means I say okay, we will see. Let this time this product go. That is where we fail. Carelessness, I can call it, or supervisors don't have proper surveillance on products. That's very important point. This is, I'm talking about manufacturing. You go and buy whatever you want to buy, you will be attracted, but when you use that item, you will be very upset. And this happens in 98% cases. Maybe 1% or 2% there are exceptions always, and those are those people who are well branded, or they want to maintain their standards. Some people are there in world, and mostly people are not quality people. Very rarely it happens, and particularly I can say in construction industry, it's very important issue. If I control quality, I believe, not only believe, I claim. That's called engineering profession. In engineering profession, claim is a must. Claim means we complied with requirements. That's called claim. And if we can't comply with requirements, then what's meaning of engineering? I don't understand. If I act like, means no need of compliance, don't even read what is required for compliance, don't study in depth, and just do something as it is done always. Oh, it has been done this like this for so many years, I have been doing this. Well, if you have been doing this for so many years and this is mistaken, or this is substandard, you are doing substandard, you learned in substandard, you learned substandard. And substandard means sub-engineering. This is not engineering. This is, you can say, much inferior to engineering requirement. Requirement, I say, or prescription, I say. I will not say prescription because it is based on detailed expression. It's not simply prescription, it's done medical science. In medical science, writing issues are too limited. But in engineering, we have many processes, long-term processes. Sometimes operations or activities we conduct are hours consuming. Some activities may move up to many hours, or sometimes many days. So it is different level of, you can say, different stream of work. Time is very important for construction. Means sometimes time is so squeezed that you have no liberty, you have no luxury to waste it. Cost, of course, relates to time. If you don't control time, if you don't organize properly, you will lose time. and on some projects even 1 hour lost is important. It is costly. It is costly. For example, I hire some machine. I hire some machine for whatever purpose, for whatever activity. I have to pay rent to that machine vendor. That rent may be 2000 rupees per hour or so many dollars per hour. That money is paid because that machine is to be used for work. And if I do not use that machine, say for 2 or 3 hours in a day, I have to pay because that machine is at that time exclusively meant for that site and is paid based on basis of hours. And if I pay on basis of days and I don't use that machine for my working time, 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, whatever, I lose that money. It may not be direct loss, but it be because you're not you're not delivering yourself product quantity or work quantity or whatever you expected to plant. You have to pay more, and expenses are gone, budget of that item is gone, but you fail to achieve that output which you were required to get. This is, we can say, time study management or organization of machines. We have to study how much it performs. Everybody knows, every engineer knows who has experience on sites, time or work management, work organization, and not only about machines but also about our workers. We know output of a worker, established output, not theoretical output, based on work culture, based on location, and based on equipment as well as based on facilities we provide to those workers. So it applies everywhere. Cost is very important, and cost is related to time. It's also important. If you lose time, you lose cost because time doesn't come back. Similarly, lost money cannot come back. We have to be very much thoughtful, very much practical in this way, because after all, if you spend money on such wastage, you cannot regain it, and you will find that your project budget is escalated to whatever extent. And if you make a practice like this, that if workers are not working sincerely, they do not work sincerely, they don't give output, or your material is not properly tested, and after even installation you find that there's a problem. It's a big problem. You have to understand that point. That's why we say that engineering should be done by experienced persons. Because if you have only qualification, whatever qualification, academics qualification you have, academical qualification, that is not adequate knowledge for engineering. Experience attained by those who have academical qualification and experience. They realize value of experience. They understand what was learned in university or institution and what is actual requirement. We have to understand actual requirement and actual activity, description, how it is conducted, how it's carried out, where do we have room to improve, and where do we lose time or lose cost. That must be kept in mind, that we should not repeat this activity in this way again, or we have to define right procedure for that activity. That's very important point. So we can say ultimately quality is related to methods of working. Methods of working, you can say, though it's not understood properly by everybody, Everybody has experience, and everybody thinks that whatever I have experienced, that's only answer. That's only response to my problem. But that is confidence, I can say overconfidence, because first you have to see whatever you learned, is that right or that is wrong. I mean to say, is that complying, does it comply with procedures? Does it comply with project specifications, or it complies with good industrial practice, I mean to say. And we have to see compliance to designs, compliance to other requirements, compliance to practical codes. These are very important points we have to consider. When I say quality, quality is no joke. Quality is no joke, I am telling. It is very significant part of engineering and products. If I cannot give quality, I am forced, or I am not pleased, or I have no way to give quality, then I should stop at that time. Because quality less product has no value. Has no value. We have to understand how quality can be achieved, because we are educated people. We have to define ourselves what we have to do. If I cannot define how to improve something, or how to even do in its original way, is the starting way, how to carry out this work. If I have not done it before, then I have to devise myself some method how best I can do this. Because in engineering and construction engineering, methods are very important. Sometimes methods become, replacer of what you can say details. Methods are so technically specified, technically expressed, that you need enough background, you need enough knowledge even to understand those methods written by someone. Writing method is much difficult. Let us understand what is written by someone else. If you go on reading page by page or line by line, you will say, yes, I can do this way, this is okay, and this is okay. Can be done that way. We can try it and we can see result. And if result is different, then certainly there is something. Maybe this is difference in negative way, or this is difference in positive way, gainable way. And if we gain something, it's okay, fine, we should follow that. Then we should further improve that. Because in construction, not a single person works, all work together. Engineers, foremen or supervisors, then workers, total team works together. In this team, there are many level of human beings, from engineer on to downwards. Experienced people are also there who do not know about writing, who do not know about books, but they know I have done this. And that's also means, after all, mind was used. Mind of engineer is very important one. Engineer cannot say I don't have mind, I made mistake. Engineer who studies in university must have technical brain, must have analytical brain. That's required. And if you don't have that, don't waste time in engineering. Engineering is full of risks. Those risks must be converted to ease of working. Engineering is a reliability. Work in engineering is a reliability. We have to understand this. When we say engineering means systematic work you have to do. There is a requirement, there is a, you can say, expectation in domain of engineering. From whatever work you do, whatever work you have to design, that must be done. That must be translated into physical entity. Therefore, engineer has to use time, to use cost, and not to use to create quality. Use is money. Budget is there, you can use it, but your use should result in best quality, or if not best, attainable quality. One should accept this fact. I am really not pleased to see works. Not necessary that I should be in some organization for that. I can walk, generally people walk for some time, every day or whenever. You will find on roads, on streets, certain buildings remain in construction, and many other projects keep on moving. We all know that. If just by moving, being an engineer, we can see that this building or this product is based on quality system, or it's just manual work they have done. It's not difficult to know that. Just by simple vision, we can find what sort of work it has been done. It is therefore very important to be quality conscious. Engineers are not quality conscious, and even if they are quality conscious, they are not commitment conscious. They are not obligation conscious. That is unfortunate. It doesn't matter you work in private sector or you work in government sector or you work wherever you want. That's your organizational connection has got no meaning. Even if you work completely privately, duty remains same. Quality does not know you belong to government office or you belong to some private office or you are a freelancer. Engineering does not know this way. Engineering knows that you have to produce me with quality. And if you do not produce me with quality, then like we do, those who are not brilliant, those who are not intelligent, they go to facial just to impress that this is my face. Same way, quality is a face of engineering. It tells what actually its structure is. It tells what way it has been done. That is very important point in quality. People may say that I always talk much about quality. Well, my question is, if I don't talk much about quality, about what I have to talk? If something is missing or something is ignored, quantity is not ignored because quantity gets you money. You are sometimes so excited that, oh, I got so much production and I disposed it. This means you made money or you are going to make money. It's one and same. But quality still remains there. I don't want to find quality in color or quality in finishing. I want to see quality in reliability. If you paint some structure, paint shall not give anything to you. Use of structure shall give you. Use of that structure, what was intended use on any structure, whatever structure, that's important. Whatever we construct, is it responding to anticipated load requirement or what we provided for? That is enough. Means it is quality person, I should say quality person, engineer. If engineer has no quality, no meaning of good work. If engineer has quality, that engineer shall not sit and sleep, but go to all locations and find out how this line works, how structural activities go on. I have seen till now many such group of people have been trapped somewhere then there was no one with them, but that has already diminished that problem. My dear, reliability must be achieved. It's not that I have to tell again and again. It is to be achieved. This is your job. Your job is to deliver item, whatever item, with associate item. You have to do that. Reliability, I think, is responsibility, total responsibility. Reliability means you are responsible for safety performance of product, for safety of product, and that product should serve for what it is intended, it was intended. That product must be durable. You can work on at time of that product construction. If my work is safe, if my work is worth servicing, and if my work is, I can say or I can feel or past tells that this would work for so many years, it should work. It should be durable for that period which I define. And if it does not work, it does not serve, and is not safe, in that case, whatever we did was useless, worthless, because that product doesn't mean anything. Or you may say, I would call it rejected product. Product that cannot be used or can cause unexpected injury. Or can say this product is dead in sense of quality. Everybody defines quality in its own way, but it is unfortunate even that definition is not working these days. It's because of culture, it's because of time, and it's because of assumption that if they are taken job, they would certainly comply with requirement of quality. You can say that assumption has damaged quality. You cannot presume that this product is of quality until you use it. It cannot say yes or no. Engineers have good knowledge of writing, good knowledge of technical procedures, good knowledge of codes, and good knowledge of derivation of formula as well as application of formula. And I think it is only study that puts you involved. It is only study that equips ourselves with level of thoughts, thinking in advance. This means we can look ahead. We can look ahead to project. Where shall we stand after 1 week, and where shall we stand after 1 month? And what problem we are facing, like, broadcaster of someone, some channel, television channel I'm talking of, or YouTube channel, where people produce videos for demonstration. Some are doing good job there, and I like that. At least you are using media. But quality absence remains everywhere. I know you will feel much bored all time that I'm talking of quality. For me, quality relates the whole system. Quality has many meanings. When we do something, you find some problem and solve it, mathematical problem or other subject problem. You will solve it, you can solve it. And if you don't want to solve, you don't want to solve. It's up to you. Immediate use of product after ascertaining that it's well done. You may say there's a test, though money is paid, it should not be test, it should be valued. We have to be very much clear about quality system, how to analyze our approach, how to synthesize our approach, and both are results based on thinking. When I say thinking, this means process of mind. It's not nose or something else. It's not my face. It is process of mind that nature has given me and given to everybody, every creature. That process applies for. I will not take much time in this preliminary talks about quality, because you don't have any option. You have no option. You have to do that. If you are a reputed company, organization, you are a reputed engineer, you are a reputed contractor, or you are reputed as, that reputation doesn't come to you on its own. You have to devote yourself to such activities where some honor exists, some engineer exists. That is a different point of contemplation. Quality has been missing, I know. Quality has been missing, therefore, you can say happiness also misses. Because happiness is related to such quality system, and quality system means from birth to end, from start to end. You can see how many months some activity took, maybe some weeks or months, and then you can find out that how best it is. It takes time. You may say it takes time, but it gives good results. That point must have. I have already discussed many issues about engineering. Engineering is our life for everybody in every country. Engineering is not simply engineering subject. It is social relations between members of society as well as society and super society, जैसे God's home. Life is not what we see. Life should also have quality. That many of you may agree, many may not agree. Qualityless life is very high level of burden on everybody. Because no quality means you won't be healthy, or you will be healthy one day and very weak other day. Means application, whatever we do, should be quality based, should be riding on us. We have quality requirements. I shared with you those files. This is, you know, quality requirements in construction. I shared with you many such checks. I call it checklist, means you may be in construction, maybe in quality, maybe wherever. After all, your own work. There are so many activities, so many sequences in one job, one building or part of a building, and you have generally repetitions for all these circles. We have to see that every line, every cube is measurable in terms of money. Money means material, and material means site product. I'll go to that one which we did before suspended slabs were done. Now I think I done two also. Please, I did that too. We discussed about small footings. Small footings, that is RCC footings, of course, but not meant for RCC structure, but meant for structural steel members, particularly from foundation level upwards. Foundation level it starts only from finishing surface to other finishing surface. When I said pedestal footing for structural steel frame, this says ordinary footing of frame. This frame column is bolted to foundation, and also there's a small home for purpose of maintenance. Some person claims that we got it, some claim we don't have. So I say pedestal foundation. We assume excavation has been done, every other activity has been done. Pit for, you can say pit for pump house, opening with UV values. You know, we know that for whatever footing we have, it is generally cubical. Generally, I have seen many projects 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter is very common. Then from that onward you can increase size. It's not that sort of footing where you have to see bending moment, cantilever bending moment, and resistance, then other shear forces like that. They will be all but. First of all, this is flexible framing, much flexible than we think in RCC case. Moreover, this column can be inserted in that groove, or can be inserted by making more samples of something. RCC means formwork, reinforcement, cutting, bending and placing, and then putting covers on reinforcing bars at all sides, and of course you can say. When I say this is ordinary footing, you may be placed well. It's ordinary footing. But I think this is even easier than ordinary footing. This footing or one more similar footing, both are important. We can call that mass footing, massive block. But here I don't call these two even combination of use massive block. I can say that it is same procedure. I can read again so that we have to go to next item. Just refreshing is very important. I have no diagram or no sketch for this item. Yet you can imagine it is same wave footing but depth is more, and that's it. And reinforcement is cage reinforcement. That's also another point. Means we don't say this is bottom layer or this is top layer. We say this is having shape-wise diagram, shape-wise reinforcement placement, and you can assemble and directly put on location. So in this, use term pedestal for approximate cubical size of footing. It's clearly written here. Approximate cubic size of footing. Then setting out on blinding concrete is required. We have to do it. After that, we have to make sure that reinforcement has been fabricated or is being fabricated. Then we have to provide concrete spacers to balance when it's stepped down in position. We have to provide reasonable number of covers so that it can be put in on location. Of course, we can say then we have to fix our sides which were already fabricated. Plates have been fabricated. I think in that case we have to assemble those on site, and then we have to make sure that positions of this section is same. There's no weight deviation that we must show. You can say that ensure concrete cover spaces are provided to meet functional requirements. Ensure wide or pocket for anchor bolts. Portion provided within top of cage. For purpose of future grouting, one bolt plate is placed on pocket or wide. Either way, you can provide pockets as well as you can provide bolts, plates, if it is delivered. Then we have to say that there is a space between this plate and top of concrete surface. That space is to be filled later on by grouting. So the connection is there by bolts, but here there is a space and it's still filled. Then we say we ensure these blockouts which we have provided if we are not put assembly together. Then anchor, we can say these blockouts are grooved These are also fabricated exact to dimensions, exact to size, and fixed by hanging from some point. We can do site design that this is part of temporary work for 1 day or maximum 2 days, and we can hold cremation by that time for that purpose. I want to say that anchor bolt plate assembly needs be provided at time of concreting. Block out for groove shall not be required. Formwork erection should be done to required dimension on all sides. Well secured and supported are these sides from whatever material, supporting material we have, jacks or props, and also we have to first ensure that orientation of this building is in line with requirement. That's not a big problem. It can be checked that location is right. You can say using building axis reference in both directions if possible. Then we can say these plates that we erected for foundation and blocks out placed, or you can say dimensions of formwork we checked, dimension of everyone we checked. People used to tell last day that 5 lakh people there. You can say that it is a small footing, not a major footing. You can have your own procedure for this, but reference to building access in both directions must be made, at least you can say then in local presentation of quality I did not make any. Then of course we can say after reference to axis and access to grids, we check all points according to procedure. We have to check dimensions and we have to assume that these two checks. We have to see all such footings and different way. Concrete is another one. This uh, this this item also has similar comments about reinforcement, which are meant for other other items too. We have to ensure that reinforcement are clean, reinforcing bars are clean and free from dust, rust. We have to see that you know a sacrificial anode or boss is fixed if required, in which case non-epoxy bars shall be used or included. And we have to ensure that electrical continuity testing check is done, is conducted all time without fail. Touch-up paint application is a must in case of epoxy bars are included and not non-epoxy bars. This is very important, and also we can say that is major foundations. Major foundations for such units. Major in a sense that this is not simply from simple foundation 1 meter by 1 meter, but it is different type. It relates to heavy loads that can be transferred to this. People have lost interest, they don't cry. We can say in that case it is RC footings, blocks for structural steel frames, and overhead gantry girders for EOC crane, electrically operated crane. And that is it. We say what we say that footings of long span steel frames for gantries, it is title. We can say we are going to produce footings for long span spins and girder movement on that, or crane movement on that. In plane, it's rectangular shape generally with considerable depth of foundation block. Then in social, then we can say in plan it's rectangular shape with considerable depth of foundation block, and it is that one. You can say each ensure the setting out on blinding is correct, then ensure reinforcement in form of cage is rightly fabricated in all directions. We have to make sure that concrete covers spacers are provided to meet requirement. Ensure wood or related earth are similar. After that, setting out is over. Reinforcing form of cage is transported to site location, prefabricated one. Then concrete covers as usual are placed on reinforcing bars. Then you have to avoid voids or pocket for anchor bolts, position, and sustainable members. Then we can say we have to, after this covers, etc., replacement of, I can say placement of steel fabrication unit, or you can say mesh type. We can provide all these required bars in a proper way and tie them with tie wire. Then have formwork erected in required dimension all sides, grooves be placed on all sides, grooves formwork, and we have to well secure and supported. Well secure and supported. Reinforcing bare cage, bird cage is to follow. Then we can say after your cage is placed in, formwork plates can also be erected after reinforcement is done. Is placed with. Dowels for beams, if so required, are fixed. And pocket ensure voids, blockouts placed by approved support to hang within footing bias, footing controls. So you will find that work has been already done for preparation. When you have checked dimensions, top and bottom, you have checked, you can say, you have checked plumb and orientation, you will find that nearly is going to complete. Then we have to make sure whatever work we have done is all set for concrete. We have to do everything, prepare every temporary work for that. We will see in port controls. And if there are beams also, we have to take care of that. We have to think about that, whether to do it to these footings or do it separately. In that case, we have to make another statement. Says that we have to do work and reinforcement points are same as before, that no painted bar, epoxy painted bar shall be required if cathodic protection arrangements are made, and all bars shall be cleared of ropes. Now we can say we are going to another important point as yesterday we did, and that is checklist for RCC works. In this case, I prepared one statement. I can say it's sketch. That is important one in this case. This sketch is recently, I think, I just temporarily, just for purpose of clarification, worked on about 2 hours on June 1st, just thinking how to communicate. So I thought, okay, we do something on this. You can say this is full sketch. I will explain it. It's not difficult. You can view this for 15 minutes and see what we have done, because it's very important point here. Sorry. Let us say I'll be back in some time. Meanwhile, you can view it. My dear friends, sorry for delay. I was talking about this foundation. This is generator foundation. Here, if you see this plan, let us start from here. This is these lines, you can see these lines. This rectangle indicates massive block, and if you see here, this is that. Dimension I have not mentioned. Total dimension here is 5 meters and here is 15 meters, just assumed. And this is massive block. Massive block means big block. It doesn't mean mass concrete block. No, this is structural concrete block. Its depth is approximately, you can say, it's 1.85 meter here. It's just assumed, and you'll find these pockets or voids or grooves. This is sloping portion here, which is shown in lines, and this is sloping portion, and this is a kind of different type of frictional blocks, which you can see. If you see here, this is in section inside. We can say truncated means bigger side is down and up, so they cannot come out, and there is more friction that bolts will go inside, and bolts, and this can be any number of, I have taken it 4, 5, 8, 16 here, means depends on, there could be more here if required, but I'm just leaving it to you. It depends on design. Also, this is alternator, because this is DC generator, and DC generator, whatever electricity it produces, it has to be converted to alternate AC system. You can say AC, that is alternator for this. One machine will sit on this, that's called alternator. One machine will sit on this, and that is called generator. This is raft. You can see now, if you see this, this is raft here. You may see that raft foundation. I am calling raft because this has combined raft for alternator and for generator foundation. This particularly massive block is not monolithic with raft. This is isolated one from raft, and this you can see layer. This layer which you can see here, this layer is called isolation layer. Isolation means impact will not transfer, impact of this machine shall not transfer to raft. Impact shall not transfer to raft. But this is alternator one, which is monolithic with raft. This raft and this alternator are monolithic. Reason being, this is not vibratory mechanism. This is vibratory mechanism. This, that generator shall sit on this. It will be sited on this foundation, and whatever anchor bolts the generator got in, those will go into these grooves, with grouting followed later on. Isolation, as I said, and you can see these grooves here, these grooves in this as well. So we are talking of isolation. That is where you have to think of. This is your isolation here, and this is mechanism of isolation. You can see, let us say this raft is there, done. This raft is done. On that raft we have to station this massive block. We have to provide massive block on this raft, and that raft is done. This portion has been done, carried out. We have to take care of this isolation now. What is this isolation? Let us understand. You can see that we have to I've not shown in this, I'll do it later on. We have that isolation arrangement. You can say, let me see, blow up of this. You closely look at this. This is a steel plate. On this we have fixed, neoprene pad, we call it. In general language you can say it is rubber, heavy density rubber. This is a steel plate, and here we can say we put nail in this so that this nail is connected to concrete. You can see that this nail is connected to concrete, and this nail is not wrought iron nail, but it is called concrete nail generally, but it is manufactured of it is steel nail, because only steel can penetrate into concrete, not wrought iron. So this is original plate of steel on which is factory fixed this neoprene. There are 4 holes, one here, one here, one here, and one here, in which concrete nail is fixed in, hammered, and this plate is fixed on raft. Many plates in this case. Then you can say here, surrounding this on whole surface. You know what I mean to say, be clear. These are these pads. How many numbers? It depends on design. I just tentatively shown these pads. When these pads are fixed, connected to raft, we have to put polystyrene in whole surface, and those polystyrene has to be cut out from this. That portion of polystyrene on this is a cutout. All other places are rolled polystyrene, means it is unrolled here, and these cutouts are made on that polystyrene. So this neoprene pad mounted on steel plate is visible. In that case, after that, we have to, this is polystyrene, we say did it, then a neoprene blanket type sheet comes and is put on that. Neoprene blanket type is put on that, and there also these pads have to work. So we have 3 items here. One is steel plate and neoprene nailed to concrete. Other one is rolled polystyrene heavy duty spread on whole surface below this, and then cutout are made for these neoprene pads in, you can say, polystyrene roll, on which we lay neoprene sheet. That is one part, but this is not complete. Most important part that we have to lay, we put on this 3 layers, 3 items, is framing, isolation, metallic frame. That frame means we have one lamina of steel, and there are some angles on this and that angles. We can say Then we can say we have to fabricate. I will show in some sketch. It's not shown here. We'll show that. I could not do that. I will do it and let you know later on. Means we have to, this steel lamina we have hole about holes of this size. That steel lamina would be used for this purpose, but it will be framed back. It will back frame of steel, rolled steel angles all around and within itself in form of fabrication. We'll do fixed angles and U channels or others, whatever. Not necessary that it is usual, depending on design. We'll frame up and put markings of tags, weld tags, for weld tags, and put hooks, and then upside down, I mean to say facing your lamina downwards and framing upwards. Framing portion shall be towards concrete embedment. It should embed in concrete. Means top is ultimately steel fabricated lamina. Bottom is the rubber or neoprene sheet, and below that neoprene pads surrounded by polystyrene. This is, you can say, a sandwich arrangement between raft and generator base. This foundation of generator, we call base means foundation, on which generator would rest, and it may be 1.85 meter, whatever meter it is. Heavy member, it is heavy member. On alternator end, it's ordinary, so you can say that on this there will be, after bolting etc., machine would rest, leaving a gap between the surface and its plate, and that gap, which you may call annular gap between generator plate and foundation, that shall be grouted, probably by epoxy grouting, epoxy mortar grouting, because it is vibratory machine. And on this can also be used epoxy grouting, but if you can use or you want to use cementitious materials, it depends. Means I think epoxy is far better than that as far as these items are concerned. I think I got what I wanted to say about generator foundation, and these are specific types of designs of truncated cones, truncated boxes, wider at bottom and lower at top. I now just go back to statement. If you can see that, we have to understand this in respect to this sketch, and also I like to show you that generator base which you are talking of, the generator machine. I think it's here. Yes, this is that machine. I mean, this is typical machine, not necessarily this is same one, but you can see this bottom here. This will rest on that massive block by whatever arrangement. That is important one. Of course, some shock absorber something. This is not that machine we did it, but just for reference, I'm showing you this. This will be there. So this is big machine. I take it off. So let's go to statement. What does it say? It says this foundation, this foundation, that is combined foundation of DC generator and alternator, has got many components. It is RCC raft. Component involved are RCC raft, alternator foundation in thick concrete column form, isolation between generator foundation and a raft, generator foundation on isolation on raft in massive block element form. Ensure that waterproofing membrane concrete soil protection work has been completed and protected. That is on blinding. Ensure setting out on blinding is per designs and approved. Ensure reinforcement of raft is correctly fabricated and placed within layout. Ensure proper concrete covers spacers are fixed. Ensure cathodic protection is installed if so required, if it is design one. Ensure forms are erected rightly in plan to true alignment and fixed. Ensure concrete profile top levels are fixed. Ensure alternator foundation reinforcing bars are placed in correct position. Ensure pouring concrete of raft avoiding cold joints per procedures and carry out curing activities for defined number of days. Ensure that 300 by 300, now curing is over, means we can go on to work for further foundations, like you can say massive block on generator area and thick column block on alternate area. For preparing generator foundation massive block, what we have to do? We have to start work of generator foundation, that is massive block. After curing is done and cleaning is done, both it's clear, we can start scope here because this is complicated item. It says ensure that 300 by 300 mm or whatever design it is, steel plate mounted neoprene pads are fixed to raft using 4 numbers steel manufactured concrete nails, which nails must do proper fixing of plates to concrete. You have to check that polystyrene rolls are spread on areas of raft but with savings areas covered under neoprene pads, means you have to roll polystyrene and before rolling you have to make cutouts of these bolts on that. Now we say check that polystyrene rolls are spread on areas of wrap but savings areas covered under neoprene pads so that prefabricated lamina plate rests on polystyrene. Provide a neoprene rubber sheath on whole system laid on draft. Place following detail based fabricated plate on laid system. This we'll discuss. And before that, reinforcing bars particular requirements, same as before. Ensure reinforcing bars are clean and free from rust. Ensure sacrificial anode is fixed if so required, in which case non-epoxy coated bars shall be included if you have provide cathodic protection. Ensure that electrical continuity test shall be conducted if Catholic effort. Then we have to make sure that ensure sacrificial anode is fixed if so required, in which case non-epoxy coated bars shall be included. Ensure that electrical continuity check test can be conducted if cathodic protection is required. Ensure touch-up paint is applied in case of epoxy coated reinforcing bars and no cathodic protection is permitted on epoxy coated bars. This is one part. Now we'll talk of steel frame, which is very important. I'll show you sketch later on. Sketch is not ready with me because I forgot to draw that same. Well, no big deal. Just a combination of plate means that plate is to be strengthened, is to be stiffened by some angles, and I have to put some hooks on that. There is no other purpose of that lamina. Say check defined gauge of lamina on plate sheet is per requirement. Hold on please. So, check. I'm now going to tell about lamina construction, fabrication. You can say we have a steel plate. Lamina we call means a sheet of size equivalent to size of this foundation, or you may join two sheets depending on if you got 2 sheets, 3 sheets, you can cut them and join together. But if they supply you full size, that's better. Full size means this is, you can say, this will be placed on this. You can say here, if you see this one here in width also, this one, this size and this size, whatever size is there, they may supply same or using fabricated, not a big deal. You have to cut to this size if you have full sheet roll, or if you have particularly this piece, then you have to fabricate with rolled steel angles, and that's the main part here. So what it says that check defined gauge of lamina or plate sheet which should meet requirement, whatever gauge is mentioned in design. Generally it's not very thick because it is rollable, so it is thin because it is to carry, it's to isolate only. It's not going to sustain loads, but just to be sandwiched between two foundations, massive block and raft. Check sections of rolled steel to be included for isolation frame fabrication. Ensure proper setting out of lines for RS sections for on-site fabrication. Means on this plate, first of all, you make some ground, good ground, level ground for this plate, and then you have to mark lines on this plate for angles as well as for welding tags. It was given clearly on drawing, and I did that marking on this lamina. What says ensure proper setting out of lines for rolled steel sections for on-site fabrication, because this fabrication is done on site. It's not difficult, but you have to take personal attention on this if you don't have good staff for that. Just marking is important and welding is important, both are important. Ensure proper tagline markings for welding are done on plate for welding work. For welding work, we have to make weld line marking. Ensure proper tagline markings for welding are done on plate for welding work. Ensure welding operation is rightly carried out on all markings. Ensure provisions of lifting hooks and their locations are correct per design. There shall be 4 lifting hooks at least, maybe more, that you can use for lifting this fabricated frame, and then you can install that on location through your crane, mobile crane. Load is not much, but size is much, because lamina is not very heavy as well as members are not very heavy, so it's only not very heavy element, but size is larger than weight. This plate should be placed on lathe system on raft such that lamina faces down and RS framing portion upwards to allow grip to upper concrete massive block foundation material. I think you got it. Now RCC works of generator foundation. RCC works on generator foundation, and which is massive block. Massive block. Make sure that reinforcement of generator massive block is placed in right locations in form of multi-layer steel on-site worked assembled meshes. There's maybe so many layers of steel reinforcement horizontally and vertically. Vertically, generally rings would be used, are used, but horizontally many layers of bars just to keep volume of concrete safe, no cracks are formed. Though structural calculations for thickness are not very attractive here because it's already very thick, there will be no more major problem about bending moment or moment resistance, but dampening effect is required, vibration dampening effect. For that purpose, massive block is answered because it gives good weight for resistance. So what I say, ensure that reinforcing bars are placed in line to design details whatsoever. This item pertains to massive block of concrete detailing, which requires attention of an experienced engineer or experienced pragmatic foreman who has been used to such type of activities, who can personally attend to direct its installation, because it being a machine foundation designed based on foundation counterveiling. Make sure that vertical forms are erected on all sides of proposed massive block. All sides, yes, you have to place prefabricated plates, of course, vertically, or I can say 2.4 face vertically. So you have to cut to other face. Okay, let's move further. It's not very easy to think of because it is massive block. Remember that all massive block sites shall be provided with abutting concrete trenches. Got it? I said first make sure that vertical forms are erected on all sides of proposed massive block, and make sure that formwork is carried out in a good fixing arrangement. You know that supports, make sure that all side supports are strong enough so as not to permit either opening or movement of sides, and also to avoid bulging of sides, bulging when sides are swollen due to concrete pressure at local station. Hence then make sure all side supports are strong enough so as not to permit either opening or movement of sides, and also to avoid bulging of sides. Remember that all massive block sides shall be provided with abutting concrete trenches for running electric cables, and whereat moved or pulsed sides shall not work, which work state could lead to consideration. Then you may also say that whereat moved or bulged sides shall not work, which work state could lead to considerable grinding of bulged areas to bring back concrete profile to true vertical. And grinding is time consuming. It shall take your time, it shall take your skilled person, and it's not convenient. Other reason is that we can chip it, we have time, we have chipping procedures. This is what when they say that. Then we go to next point, that is make sure concrete covers are fixed correctly to all reinforcing bars. Check top alignment and plumps so that formwork plan meets the requirements at bottom as well as top profile, which are important one. Bottom and top profiles are fixed on here. Then as usual, after that, make sure concrete covers are fixed correctly to all sides, all reinforcing bars. Check top alignment and plumps, and bottom alignment and plumps. Okay, means to check top alignment and plumps so that formwork plan meets the requirement at bottom as well as top profiles, and for sure in middle locations. Check setting out for anchor bolts locations for locating and fixing blockouts in grooves. Check blockouts, truncated formworks as I showed in top, hanging forms, hanging voidable forms. Check blockouts, truncated formwork. Check these blockouts forms are fixed in position, and then you can say check blockouts, truncated formworks, which are very important in this case because this is ultimately route to hold machine together. Check these blockouts forms are fixed in position and are truly vertical and well anchored so as not to move out of fixed position. Make sure about providing cathodic protection if so required. In case of cathodic protection provisions, continuity test shall be conducted on various bars, all bars. Activity of pouring and curing to be followed for concrete pour plan and no. We can say in case of cathodic protection if so required, you have to provide. In case of cathodic protection provision, continued tests be conducted as usual, and activity of pouring, curing to be followed for concrete pour plan, and of course in steps pouring so as to avoid cold joints formation. I have explained many times step pouring. We will discuss again, no problem. Reinforcing bars particular requirements. Ensure reinforcing bars are clean and free from rust and dust. Ensure sacrificial anode is fixed if so required, in which case non-epoxy. Then you can say electrical current is conducted, tested, and torch paint is applied if no electrical continued test is required, and that paint application is very must to remove debonding or to remove cracks from coated surface. Ensure touch-up paint is applied in case of epoxy coated reinforcing bars, and no cathodic protection is applied on others. We'll go to alternate foundation work. This massive work, I think you don't understand, although I don't know, you understand or no. I showed you last time massive foundation work. It better show you a glimpse if I can see immediately. I got such out. Tabletop sketch, tabletop photo. No. I think I have to go there. I'll try to show you because the right time should be shown rather than imagination is. Everybody cannot imagine, that's also true. Imagination cannot convey everybody. So I can say, let me go through this and see where it is. My God, very crazy, What is that? Side fabric, no, this is not that one. No, it's not that one. Method statement mass block concrete sequence. Okay, I'll show you that one. Both I will show you. First you see this one. I think you have seen this many times. Purpose of this is only to show that you may see this is a plan of pourable area, and this elevation is a section of pourable area. These are important, I have put sequences of 2 meters here. This is, you can say, horizontal layer, and the vertical arrangements here. In this case, we have plan as well as you have internal arrangements, a number of layers that you have to lay, and sequence is given on that. There's no continuity in that. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6. It's not in same sequence. Sequence are changed so that cold joints are avoided. This sole purpose, and then it says many other issues we'll discuss at time of concreting. Now only purpose just to remind you where it can be, and our 480 kilometers we cast through. Then these are same. I'll close it just for your reference. It was shown. We can say now AC, alternative foundation plant. Alternative, convert direct current to AC. Wonderful. Sometimes I have to see in that context, really. Maybe I'm slow, you think. I'm slow intentionally because you have to read also. It's your duty to read. When I put like this, better for more clarification. Says following description gives all operations that are required for a thick column with the addition of provision of pockets or grooves for blockouts. Alternative foundation is a thick concrete element, which means its minimum dimension in plan is at least 800 mm. Though it's more, at least 800 mm should be, and height could be say up to 3 meters depending on designs. Steel vertical now designs, and then you can say it can be more. Steel vertically reinforcing bars were fixed at time of raft RCC work. So you are not going to fix main bars but only stirrups. At this stage, horizontal reinforcing stirrups as well as all other bars are to be placed in and installed. Formwork plates that must have been fabricated in yards are required to be brought to location and erected. Post steel reinforcement approval. Formwork plates that must have been fabricated in yards are required to be brought to location and erected. Post steel reinforcement approval. Formwork of grooves must also be made available for installation. All sides of alternative foundation formwork shall be erected and fixed properly so as no side opens at time of concrete pour. All formwork checks to ensure position and verticality shall be conducted. Remember that cable trench shall pass adjacent to sides of alternator. Alternator foundation concrete. Then say all formwork checks to ensure position and verticality shall be conducted. Ensure know what to do. We have done all formwork checks to ensure position and verticality shall be conducted. Remember, the cable trenches shall pass adjacent to this trench. Cable trench through this foundation surface, which means vertical and side accuracy is required, and as it's required for massive block. Level line of concrete tops shall be fixed on formwork inside. You can fix beads for that. You can say level line of concrete top shall be fixed on formwork inside. That's why bead, why something else you can do. That's the important part because they have the concrete up to that level. Grooves formwork shall be fixed on well-laying codes so that no movement occurs during concrete pouring. That's also a very important item. Then approval shall be obtained from formwork for purpose of concrete pour. Pour shall be conducted in layers or axis 4 and mm. We will see this in pour, not here. Reinforcing bars for particular requirements as usual we said. I repeat it so that you remember. Ensure reinforcing bars are clean and free from dust and rust. Ensure sacrificial anode is fixed if so required, in which case non-epoxy coated bars shall be included. Ensure that electrical continuity testing or checking shall be conducted if cathodic protection is required. Then you say ensure reinforcing bars are clean free from dust and rust. Ensure sacrificial anode is fixed. Sacrificial anode is fixed if so required, in which case non-epoxy coated bars shall be included. Not be included. Then non-epoxy coated bars shall be included. Ensure that rectal continuity check shall be conducted if cathodic protection is required. Ensure touch-up paint is applied. In case of epoxy coated reinforcing bars, and no cathodic protection is permitted on epoxy coated bars. This is whole, I said, this is whole foundation for diesel generator and alternator. Once these are done, there is no important things left. Now we say checklist for RCC fairface structural works. It is also very important item, very important sense of fairface. That is not easy. In fact, this is really not easy. It's difficult. Let me see about what I can say. Fairface is not done everywhere. It depends on requirements, and you can say where we see something special. Okay. Up to 17 I gave, I think 17 I gave completely. Analytical framing, let's say, which I did last time was this was alternate foundation. Okay, this alternate foundation. Lamina I have given. Alternate also I have given. I think it's something like. So this was given, fabrication of steel lamina and works of generator foundation. Alternator foundation is also given here. In this, not in there. Alternative foundation there. Alright, we'll do this next time, but not now. So let us see how it works. What is fairface concrete? Let us try something here. stomach is a little problematic. I'll try to show something here. If it is possible, I will try to show. This image is always a problem, copy image. This is one part, fair face concrete. What is fair face concrete? Here's a definition. It says, be it modern, be it for modern administrative building, be it for modern administrative building or for housing, fair face concrete is becoming popular. Fair face concrete is not plastered or veneered. Simple appearance of concrete meets all aesthetic requirements. Fair face concrete refers to concrete surfaces with special requirements in terms of concrete aesthetics and what is fair face? It doesn't require any finishing. Says fair face concrete refers to concrete surfaces, special requirements in terms of concrete aesthetics and structure. We distinguish between 4 different classes of fair face concretes. This is concrete surfaces with few creative requirements. Few creative requirements. Concrete surfaces with few creative requirements, namely basement walls or areas used primarily for industrial purposes. Concrete surfaces with normal creative requirements, namely stairwells, retaining walls, can create surfaces. Concrete surfaces. It says concrete surfaces with normal creative requirements, that's stairwells, retaining walls, and concrete surfaces with high creative requirements, namely facades, concrete surfaces with very high creative requirements as representative components. Formwork is a key factor for aesthetics appearance of fair-faced concrete. Formwork. You can see this fair-face concrete expertise. Now I have to show you some form of this, which is also important one. Copy image, save image as, let's save image as, so that is Hobby Blocks. Okay, this is Hobby Blocks JPG. This is fair face concrete, I can say fair face concrete wall. And now fair face concrete wall. So I'll go there and put this, try to take out this file. Think about this. See where's long time, it takes time. I did not find till now. Where's that? What happens? Why I lose this? I don't know. I lose this. Maybe it's not that one. It's in downloads probably. Where's that? I did this image. Let me do it again. I think I lost this somewhere. Oh no. That's my problem. I didn't find that, Save images. Manual document book facilities on shore. Some Zambi. And this is fair face wall concrete is there. And documents book facilities on store. Should be now. Fair face concrete, yes it is here, I got it. Just a minute please. Just a minute. Print it and show you. Sometimes I forget where I kept it, that's the problem, So it's come up. This is now right way. So I put that's right way. So I put this off. So what I have to put off? No. Let me put this off from view. So this PHP I close it. So let us concentrate on this. Let's concentrate on this and on this. You can see this. This is Fairface. This is all. This portion is already done and it's showing another one here. You can see all these are clamps, chicken jaws and clamps, and these are all members of formwork. Yes, here different types of connections and walls. I think it's a proprietary one because it's all metallic. You can see that wall form. Symmetrical, typical design, and these are connected together. Let's see. So this is what is shown here in case of, and this is this is result of Fairface, as it says. So we have 4 instances: that concrete surface with few creative requirements, and then concrete surface with normal creative requirements, and then concrete surface with high creative requirement, and then concrete surface very high. So formwork is a key factor for aesthetic appearance of Fairface concrete, and this is that you can see result of. So you can see the slab here. You can see these gates, columns. This is your plaster. No, we won't do anything on that. And you can see this also. So formwork is a key factor for aesthetic appearance and structure of exposed concrete surfaces. Each type of formwork creates a unique surface, since arrangement of tie points and gaps at element joints have a significant influence on final appearance. Interesting effects can also be achieved by using special formwork facing, such as roughly sawn timber formwork. Sawn timber formwork, steel facing or texture lines. You can see that Fairface complex. Service specifications are decisive for assessing Fairface concrete. When manufacturing Fairface concrete surfaces, it's essential to perform trials to avoid subsequent discrepancies between client and concrete. You can say, oh, let's say it is better also. From standard formwork to custom production, system for manufacture of Fairface concrete are tried and tested and offer right solution for every requirement. Now there is some manufacturer, I'm not interested in that, just giving you means what sort of work they do. It's written that now circular column formwork and trapezoidal gutter and all that are giving for the arguments. So I have to show you, I show to you now. Let's go through our, let me put off this again because we can. And you can see these connections. So I'll take it off now. That is full facilities, stores. Clear face form. So I'll put it off also now. Let me see if something more can be attained from this. Let me see. Architectural, let us say architectural concrete. I'm not getting why. It's come. Okay, it has come. So I'll check this first. Is okay or no, so that I can take off this from here. So let's just concentrate on this for a couple of minutes before we close our talk. This is architectural concrete finish. Says a clear trend is surfacing in language of architecture. A clear trend is surfacing in language of architecture towards concepts that are as individual as they are unique. Buildings are being asked to convey interesting forms of expression both inside and outside in an attempt to not only provide functional spaces but also social and visually appealing places to be. Cast in place concrete can create this extra flexibility for architectural work when required, but it takes some planning to achieve vision of all involved. Whether this be for construction of bridges, tunnels, stadiums or high-rise buildings, every project is unique, and with this comes formwork, solution and concrete finish. In this article we delve into topic with reference to DOCA's competencies in this specialist area. What are concrete finishes? There are various types of concrete surface finishes achievable and which can be considered for those working with in situ solutions specified by building stakeholders. With reference to construct concrete structures group and cement and concrete industry publication National Structural Concrete Specification for Building Construction published by Concrete Center, we discuss concrete finishes in further details. Specification and standards. Specifications and standards. Alright, let it keep as it is. You have to understand this in minutes. This is very important item. Next talk will be on this. Next talk is important is we understand it is sketch wise and reference wise, because I don't know everything, that's also true. I'm also like you, little knowledge, and little knowledge is not adequate for complete presentation. So specifications and standards we're talking of here. Specifications and standards we're talking of here are here. That is, in regards to specification and standards, BS EN 13670, that is basic, ordinary, plain and special, has now replaced BS 8110. So this was old one. Again we say, because UK is back on its own. Finish A, B and C with finish classes 1, 2 and special. National Structural Concrete Specification NSCS has same scope as BS EN 13670 for building structures, and NCSCS covers requirements for construction of concrete building structures, which includes in situ concrete amongst others. Further information can be found in Concrete Society publication Formwork, good guide to good practice, and leave it now. Types of surface finishes. For civil engineering and infrastructure projects, there are two specific guides which are alternative to those for typical building requirements. These two specific guides are specification for highways works, class F1 to class F5 and special, and civil engineering specification for water, industry, CSWI, rough, fair and fair walked. In normal concrete, frame and building applications, a plain finish is where visual effect is of some importance, whereas for a special finish, specific requirements shall be given. Examples of plain finishes include areas only seen occasionally or areas which are prepared. This also can include direct painted areas where there are some particular requirements. Where is a good example of a special finish would be an area where surface regularity and or color are important factors. Below we list our 4 main types of formed finishes taken from 4th edition of National Structural Concrete Specifications for Building Construction. Basic finish. There are no requirements for this type of finish other than to enable adequate compaction, to provide adequate cover to reinforcement, and to achieve specified tolerance. That is basic finish. Ordinary finish. There are no special formwork requirements for this finish. Concrete should be thoroughly compacted and formed surface should be free from major inherent blemishes and honeycombing. There is no requirement of a consistency of color for struck surface. Plain finish. A plain concrete finish requires careful selection of concrete, release agent, and use of good quality formwork. Concrete must be thoroughly compacted and all surfaces should be true with clean rises. Concrete must be thoroughly compacted. All issues. We can say a plain concrete finish requires a careful selection of concrete release agent and use of good quality formwork. Concrete must be thoroughly compacted. All surfaces should be true with clean rises. Only very minor inherent surface blemishes should occur, with no discoloration from release agent or grout runs from edges and pores. Struck surface should be of a consistent color from material use. Arrangement of formwork panels and tie bolt holes should be in a regular pattern. Steps at joints between forms to be maximum 3 mm. Spatial finish. A spatial finish, often referred to as visual or architectural concrete, requires careful selection of concrete, release agent, use of good quality formwork, and though we can say then detailed requirements of surface finish. A special finish, often referred as visual or architectural concrete, requires careful selection of concrete, release agent, use of good quality formwork, and thorough compaction. Detailed requirements of surface finish required and any permitted further working or improvements to as a struck finish are given now in the specifications. The required surface regularity must be achievable. Allowable color variation of surface based on generic color of concrete. Extent of acceptable blowholes. This depends on formwork type concrete and textures. So what I said here, let us now, I'm going to reach the conclusion part actually. Maybe we cannot complete it today. So it says required surface regularity must be achievable. Allowable color variation of surface based on generic color of concrete, extent of acceptable blowholes. This depends on formwork type concrete, release agent, and compaction. Some blowholes are inevitable. Structure edges required, use of cover spaces, arrangement of formwork joints and tie holes, filled but ideally left recessed, location of sample or similar finish. Special tolerances must be achievable. Give consideration to manufacture tolerances, material behavior, and build tolerances, light reflectance. Now, early discussions and teamwork, then you can say particular care and site practice, PM in Scala. So, early discussion and teamwork between architect, engineer, and constructor to ensure understanding of project finish required, particular care in choice of materials for both formwork and concrete, good site care and satisfactory supervision of work, site practice formwork surfaces should be protected from rainwater damage, not to be left flat on the ground, plywood to be called for, site practice concrete, use of tile is strongly recommended, where a particular appearance is envisaged. These trials should be performed under same circumstances and conditions of later will cause. So if you see, you'll see go pages, and maybe cannot discuss everything today. Maybe there are considerations and specific finishes are there. Docker is a company that processes farm work. We can say these examples: timber facing farm work for unique concrete finish, and this is, you may say, customer achieved a combined acid wash and grid blast concrete finish. Color consistency and importance of concrete maturity, you can say here. Northern Hub project utilized Doka's knowledge, design services, and pre-assembly team to achieve detailed architectural finish. So that's one point here. Then we can say so I say now it's time to close. We have studied the worth of today's requirement. I think something is better. So I should close this. I will close this too. Close this all. I think it's time to say bye bye for today. We'll continue this next time, because I'm not pushing more than 3 hours, not more than 3 hours. Hope you enjoy this. Thank you very much.